Yes, we are reading our chapter number 2. That was about. That was about.
Yes, I'm sorry. My brother was just asking something. I gave him the answer. Anyway, yes, last lecture we were learning about displacement, speed, and velocity.
Yes. So we are reading in our chapter the branch, most important branch of the physics, that is kinematics. The kinematics means that branch of physics in which we study about the motion without discussing the cause of motion. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have basically seen the very first concept of the difference between rest and motion. In our second lecture, we have seen the basic difference between distance and displacement. And here we are starting our topic number 3, that is the difference between speed and velocity. Understand that or not?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Good. So now here is the speed and velocity. First of all, you should know me that which quantity is speed and which is velocity. Meanwhile, which one is scalar quantity and which one is vector quantity and why. Give me also the reason that why you consider any one of this quantity is vector and any one of this quantity as a scalar.
Speed. Speed is a scalar quantity. This is
Good.
because when we are talking about speed, we only use the unit meter upon second,
Oh,
meters per second. We don't need to tell this way we're speeding or that way we're speeding. We only need to tell how much. It only consists of numerical magnitude.
good.
Whereas in velocity, not only do we need speed, we also need the direction of which way is it going. For example, if I throw a ball, the velocity of that ball is calculated by the speed and the direction where I'm throwing it.
Good.
So vector is a scalar quantity, and
Yes.
speed is a vector is quantity is velocity and scalar quantity is speed.
Good. Both of them can be represented by the same word, that is V, meanwhile, capital V. Okay. But the difference we can written by this with the help of
An arrow.
an arrow. Yeah, mistakenly I have put that arrow, but I can't. That is. I don't think so. Why eraser is not coming to us? Okay. I think we have to leave that. Okay. So now here is we can write the speed by only writing a small v without putting an arrow on that, whereas we can denote velocity by putting small v with the help of an little arrow with that. The little arrow indicating that velocity needs a direction to represent itself, whereas a speed does not need any direction to represent itself. So here is a basically a very long description about these two terms. Okay. Meanwhile, we firstly see about
Yes.
speed, its formula, its representation. Then we also see some types of speed like instantaneous speed, uniform speed, non-uniform speed, etc. Whereas same like that, velocity, we firstly see its definition, then we see its units, its representation, and then some types of velocity as well. Okay, so the difference between speed and velocity is not as short as the difference was between rest and motion, and the difference was between distance and displacement. Understand that? Here is a very large and very huge
Yes.
difference between speed and velocity. So we can include these topics in our long question as well. Whereas those two differences which we have learned before, that was a part of our short question. Whereas the difference between speed and velocity is an important long question. So now, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, we can start to our topic. Speed is the measure of how fast an object is moving. As we can say that, how fast, meanwhile, what is the speed of that moving object? We can simply say that that is its speed. But the velocity describes the speed as well as the direction of a moving object. As you have told me earlier that velocity will need a direction to describe itself. So we can say that speed is a scalar quantity, whereas velocity is a vector quantity. So first of all, given here is speed. Here's the definition which is present in a bold letter, that measure of the distance covered with passage of time. Here is the sign of delta indicating that change in distance that is divided by change in time. It is called speed. That is denoted by small v. Understand that? Here I think so notes में यहाँ misprint है. आपकी बुक में लिखा होगा मैथमेटिकली इधर क्या लिखा हुआ है?
Since यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है थीटा डी डिवाइड बाय थीटा टी.
ओके, थीटा थीटा या डेल्टा?
Sorry, delta.
यस,
Sorry,
डेल्टा
theta
एस.
is something else.
डेल्टा एस डिवाइडेड बाय डेल्टा टी, ऐसे ही है. और क्या लिखा हुआ है?
V equals to ये gradient का फॉर्मूला भी लिखा हुआ है. V equals to S F minus SJ divided by T F minus CJ.
Kindly send me the picture of that page on your
Gradient के फॉर्मूला की तरह.
yes.
Yes, I will send you later.
Later? Okay. Are you using a laptop?
Yes.
Okay. Then मुझे राइट ही करवाएंगे क्योंकि हमें नेक्स्ट बढ़ना भी तो है. और क्या लिखा हुआ है यहाँ? ये तो स्पीड का फॉर्मूला हो गया ना, डेल एस और डेल टी. और क्या लिखा हुआ है?
नहीं, टीचर कुछ और लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे, इसको बताएं प्लीज. यहाँ पे सिंपल पहले यहाँ पे सिंपल फॉर्मूला लिखा हुआ है बिहाइंड दी, और वो है स्पीड इक्वल्स टू डिस्टेंस डिवाइड बाय elapsed टाइम.
Okay. Okay. Then you have to send me that. Okay? Later.
Yes, I'll send you right now. Just wait here, I'll send it.
Okay. I am waiting. Are you sending on your Google chat?
I'm sending a WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you. Okay. Del S or del D, as we have learned in our previous class, that distance can also be represented by del S, del D, del L. Am I right? So here they can be
Yes,
possible
ma'am.
signs for representation of a distance. Okay. So delta distance over delta time. But in very first elapsed time, what do you know by elapsed time?
Elapsed time equals to the amount of time spent.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the time interval which was measured from a initial time to final time, that was named as elapsed time. ठीक है. Meanwhile, जैसे आप स्टॉप वॉच से we have know about the use of स्टॉप वॉच, आप इनिशियल टाइम भी नोट करें और फिर आप फाइनल टाइम भी नोट करें. सो ये आपके पास जो टाइम का पीरियड होता है इसको आप elapsed टाइम बोलते हैं. अंडरस्टैंड दैट?
Yes.
एंड चेंज का मीन आपको क्या आता है? डेल्टा मीन। चेंज का मतलब तो यही है ना कि आपके पास फर्स्ट से एंड तक, मीन वाइल पहले आपके पास जो भी था, लाइक फाइनल डिस्टेंस माइनस इनिशियल डिस्टेंस, ये जो आपके पास बुक में शो भी हो रहा है ना, एस एफ, इसका मतलब होता है फाइनल डिस्टेंस, माइनस एस आई लिखा हुआ है, इसका मतलब है इनिशियल डिस्टेंस। और नीचे भी इसी तरह फाइनल टाइम माइनस इनिशियल टाइम। फाइनल का मतलब होता है जहां चीज पहुंच गई है, और इनिशियल का होता है जहां से उसने स्टार्ट किया था। ये दो चीजों पे आपको पता होना चाहिए। ओके, आई डोंट नो व्हाई दिस फॉर्मूला इज मिसिंग
Yes,
फ्रॉम
ma'am.
बुक। Okay, so speed of an object is show us the rate at which the object is moving. So we can say that speed is a scalar quantity which having a SI unit of meter per second. As we have also know about that the distance is measured in meter, whereas the time is measured in second. So the possible formula that will become equal to meter per second. The speed will be 1 meter per second if an object cover 1 meter of distance in 1 second. That is called as its speed. So what does speed tell us? Tell us how fast an object is moving. An object is fast if it covers large distance in a short time. This is an understandable thing that if any of the object, that can be a car, that can be a bicycle, that can be a man, that can be an animal, if he is covering large distance in a short time, then we can obviously say that its speed is very fast. And meanwhile, if an object is carrying a small distance but in a very large time, so what will we say? What will you say
It
that?
is going very slowly.
Good. So, for example, while going from Islamabad to Peshawar through motorway M1, we leave at Tunnel interchange at 2 p.m. and cross Sawabi interchange at 3 p.m. Have you any time visited the Islamabad or Peshawar? Many most famous areas of Pakistan.
Yes, ma'am. I visited through train. Not actually, I went there using car highway.
Okay. So, since Swabi interchange is about 70 kilometer from Tower interchange and it took us 1 hour, therefore our speed can be obtained as. Here is also not given the formula. Okay, so how can you find the speed? We can find the speed that is equal to distance over time. Am I right? So, change in distance divided by change in time. Now, tell me, what was the change in distance? What was the total distance? Here you are following
Ma'am, it is given here that the total distance is 70
70 km. Km stand for kilo.
kilometers.
Good. Whereas the change in second, how many time it needs? It
It
totally
took us one
needed
hour.
1 hour, and 1 hour contain how many seconds and how many minutes? 60 minutes and
60 minutes and about 3,600 seconds.
yeah. So here it becomes 70 kilometer per hour. That is named as its speed of a 70 kilometer per hour.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
fast moving object covers a relatively large distance in a given amount of time, and thus that we can say that it has a high speed. Whereas a slow moving object covers a relatively small amount of distance in the same amount of time, and therefore it has a low speed. So here you can differentiate between a high speed and low speed. In this important short question, high speed and low speed. Understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Now, speed of a car. ओके, इन्होंने वही बताया हुआ है कि टर्नल चेंज से 1 आवर में अगर वो गया है तो उसने 70 किलोमीटर को क्रॉस आउट किया है। ठीक है, सो सम इंटरेस्टिंग स्पीड फैक्ट। हु इज द फास्टेस्ट मैन ऑन द अर्थ? हैव यू लिसन अबाउट द?
Usain Bolt.
या, he finished a 100 meter sprint in just 9.58 सेकेंड। मीनवाइल अंडरस्टूड सी बात है कि उसने 1 सेकेंड में राउंड अबाउट 10 मीटर डिस्टेंस कवर किया है, तभी जाके उसने तकरीबन 10 सेकंड्स में 100 मीटर स्प्रिंट जो थी उसको कवर कर लिया। कब? इन 2009। सो इन दैट इंस्टेंस हिज स्पीड वाज, देख लें, 10.44 मीटर पर सेकंड। मीनवाइल 1 सेकंड में वो 10 मीटर क्रॉस कर रहा था। ऐसे ही है। सो इसलिए इसकी जो स्पीड है
Yes.
37.58 किलोमीटर पर आवर जो है वो एस्टिमेट की गई। नेक्स्ट आपके पास एक और वो एनिमल की एग्जांपल थी। नेक्स्ट आपको एक एनिमल की एग्जांपल दी हुई है। द स्लोएस्ट एनिमल इन द वर्ल्ड, सबसे आहिस्ता चलने वाला आदमी जानवर कौन है? द क्राउन which goes to the three-toed sloth and the average speed of them is about, you can see it, how minimally he walk per second or per hour. You would have seen garden snails or turtles which move which is faster than his rate. Meanwhile ये दुनिया का सबसे स्लोएस्ट एनिमल है। तो आप खुद ही अंदाजा लगा लें कि हमारा जो टर्टल है वो हमें कितना लगता है कि वो कितनी स्लो स्पीड में चलता है, तो ये उससे भी कहीं ज्यादा स्लो स्पीड रखता है। एंड हियर इज द फास्टेस्ट एनिमल। We cannot say him animal, we can say him as a bird. Peregrine falcon. Have you any idea about peregrine falcon? क्या कहते हैं इसे?
Yes, ma'am, I have idea about peregrine falcon. They are fastest beings on earth and they go about 400 kilometers per hour.
शाहीन कहते हैं, शाहीन। सो ये हमारे पास जो वर्ल्ड का फास्टेस्ट एनिमल है, ओके। इट कैन अटेन अ मैक्सिमम स्पीड ऑफ अप टू 108.333 मीटर पर सेकेंड और 390 किलोमीटर पर आवर। मीनवाइल 1 आवर में वो कितने किलोमीटर गेन कर रहा है? 390। Cheetah is the fastest animal
390.
in the land, can reach a fastest speed of 33.33 meter per second or 120 किलोमीटर पर आवर। मीनवाइल 1 आवर में वो 120 किलोमीटर को चीता जो है वो कवर कर सकता है, जबकि ये जो पेरिग्राइन फॉल्कॉन है ये 1 आवर में 390 किलोमीटर। ओ माय गॉड, सो फास्ट। ओके, सो that was some interesting information about the most fastest man, about the most slowest animal, about the most fastest bird, and about the most fastest animal. You have to memorize their values, their speed as they are written in your book. Understand that? Meanwhile, it can be asked in your MCQs. Any question yet?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so this means that our car is moving at 70 kilometers per hour, neither speeding up nor slowing down. However, it is really difficult to maintain a same speed. Other car and distractions can cause us to reduce speed, or at a time we have to increase speed of our car. Meanwhile, they are saying that that was an ideal condition in which we are just measuring our time and our speed of the car. But in real life, other car and other distraction can cause us to reduce speed or can cause us to increase the speed of our car also. So, which factors are affecting the speed of your car? So you have to write that other car and distraction can cause
The
to,
cars and distraction.
yeah, can cause us to reduce the speed or we have to increase the speed sometimes as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
I've
that was
traveled a
about
lot
the
on the highway in
speed.
Saudi Arabia.
Okay,
Anyway, let's move
so
on.
here was a very important topic of our this chapter about speed. We firstly have the seen the definition of the speed, then we have see its formula, then we have see a very common example. It's its scalar quantity and its unit as well. Then we have see an example from Islamabad to Peshawar, which was the car that is covering the 70-kilometer distance in just 60 minutes or in 1 hour. Then we see a difference between high speed or slow speed. Then we have see some interesting information about the very fastest man on the earth and about the slowest animal on the world and fastest animal or fastest bird in the world. Then we have seen that our speed topic is closed. Now, here are some classification. Here are some types of speed that are given. The first one is given as average speed. Why these formulas are not included in your book? Why? यहाँ अब आपके पास फिर formulas नहीं है, ये देख लें, ये जगह खाली है। Why ऐसा क्यों है?
The reason is because it's in PDF form and
Have
maybe they did not add it fully. I have
have
them. I have all of
you
them.
okay? Have you your physics book in PDF form?
No, I have it in a real physical form. Like this. I have the book.
नाउ क्या करें? ओके, इसका भी मुझे पेज की फिर पिक्चर ही सेंड करें, ऑब्वियसली फॉर्मूलाज भी तो देखने हैं हमने.
ये फॉर्मूलाज काफी आसान है. वी मैं लिखता हूँ. इट्स वेरी इजी टू राइट. शॉर्ट फॉर्मूला.
ओके, राइट करें.
यहाँ पे लिखा है AVE यानी एवरेज
ओके,
इक्वल्स टू टोटल डिस्टेंस.
गुड
सिर्फ TT लिख रहा हूँ यहाँ पे. डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल टाइम.
गुड. So what you say me in your formula, that is exactly the definition of average speed. Meanwhile, the word average is always describing to us the word of total. Meanwhile, we can say that the average speed is defined as the total distance that is covered in total time. That is known as about
Yes.
average speed. So firstly,
I'll write it
read
in.
this. Read 3 lines. Average speed.
Average speed. If we calculate our speed over an entire trip, we are considering a large distance between 2 points, 2 places, and the total time elapsed. This increases our being average. With average, the average speed is the total distance as covered in total time mathematically.
Yes, मैथमेटिकली आपने अभी फॉर्मूला बताया कि एवरेज स्पीड जो है वो इक्वल है हमारे पास टोटल डिस्टेंस डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल टाइम की. इंटरचेंजेबली दिस कैन इक्वेशन कैन बी रिटन एज, यहाँ बताएं यहाँ क्या लिखा हुआ है.
S equals to
एस इक्वल
V
टू
A V E. नीचे लिखा रहा हूँ. और T यानी मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है.
किधर लिख. ओके, एस इज इक्वल टू वी एवरेज टाइम. मीनवाइल क्या किया यहाँ हमने पता चला है. हमारे पास ऊपर था वी एवरेज, दैट वाज आवर एवरेज स्पीड एंड दैट वाज इक्वल टू.
Total distance divided by total time.
यस, और नीचे वाले में हमने क्या किया, हमने डिस्टेंस को बाहर निकाल दिया. सो
Yes.
विल बी इक्वल टू वी एवरेज और टी जो है आपस में क्या हो जाएंगे,
Divide.
मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएंगे बेटा. नो नो,
सॉरी नीचे वाले फंक्शन में मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएंगे
या
अगर हमारे पास
एस
डिस्टेंस
इज
ना
इक्वल
हो.
टू वी एवरेज मल्टीप्लाई टी. तो इंटरचेंज, अगर हम इंटरचेंज कर दें तो हम इस तरह कर सकते हैं. सो दैट वाज नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट. ओके, नेक्स्ट, मेजर योर बाउलिंग स्पीड. ये तो भैया आपका ही काम है. दैट वाज नॉट माय वर्क. जस्ट रीड दिस, व्हाट दिस एक्टिविटी इज सेइंग टू अस. हैव यू एवर प्ले क्रिकेट? Hmm. Yes. Okay. Who is your favorite player?
Measure your bowling speed.
Are you listening me?
And Josh Butler is a great batsman. He's my favorite player. Josh Butler from
From which country?
Australia.
अच्छा, लो. मीनवाइल व्हाट इज दिस? भाई पाकिस्तानी प्लेयर आपको पसंद ही नहीं आ सकता. दिस इज नॉट अ गुड थिंग.
The Pakistani player before they used to be such a great team when they had all these great players like Shahid Afridi.
या, वन एंड ओनली शाहिद
Uh,
अफरीदी. वन एंड ओनली, उसके अलावा कोई भी नहीं है. ओके.
any other players. They were at that time Pakistani team was great. Then after that, all the players started retiring. All great players they just went. Now we have the rest of
शाहीन
the
अफरीदी, फखरुज्जमान, बाबर आजम. I think so. They can also be a good. They can play a good, but I don't know why they
out of the
choose
10
to.
matches that I have watched up till now in this year, 9 of them they've lost. One of them they won against New Zealand in an ODI.
हम्म. ओके, सो आप किससे खेलते हैं क्रिकेट? फ्रेंड से? क्योंकि भाई तो अभी आपके बहुत छोटे हैं. या बाबा?
नहीं नहीं, मेरे पास एक दूसरा भाई है, उसका नाम मुश्तबा है. ही इज 12 years old. I play with him. He is a batsman, I'm a bowler.
Okay. So, Mayur, your bowling speed. Rate this activity. What they are.
Measure your bowling speed. How the speed of a bowler in cricket game is calculated. You can also roughly calculate your bowling speed. First, carefully measure the length of the cricket pitch in meters from bowler's delivery stride mark to where the batter is standing. I did this measurement and 10.97 meters from my stride length to my brother's bat. Now give a stopwatch to your friend and ask him to start the stopwatch as you release the ball and stop it once it reaches the batter. To get the
Yes.
speed in meters per bar per seconds, divide the length of the pitch by the time of the stopwatch. For comparison with speed of international bowlers, we would require to convert the speed to kilometers per hour or what's kph or mpgmh.
Okay. So, can you give me your bowling speed in next till next weekend? Meanwhile, अगर आप फ्री हो और आप खेलेंगे तो आप मुझे बताएंगे आपकी स्पीड क्या है? Because it is our
Okay, बता
activity
दूंगा.
part. Okay, it is your activity part. Mark this and you have to calculate your bowling speed. Okay. So now our second type of speed is instantaneous speed. Instantaneous. What do you mean by the word instant? Instant mean
Instant means just happens at that same extent, the same time. Just
good.
as Allah creates stuff, kun fayakun.
So the speed at that specific instant of time, it is known as instantaneous speed. Simply read this.
We see signboards on road reading. Sharp turn ahead, reduce speed. Speed limit 70 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
Certainly, this signboard does not refer to our average speed, but the speed at which we are moving at that particular instant of time. The speed at any specific instant of time is called the instantaneous speed. If we are not looking at the speedometer of our car, we only have a rough idea of how fast we are moving and how much we should reduce speed. However, looking at the speedometer on the right of the hand, we will know exactly how much fast we are going at the instant of that, at that instant.
Yes. So how fast we are going at that instant of time? Meanwhile, you are just driving a car or on a bike. Some time, at an instant time, you just see on speedometer of your car or your bike or your bicycle. Then the speed at that specific instant of time, it is known as instantaneous speed. It can might be 30 kilometer per hour. It can be might be 20 kilometer per hour. It can be in different range, in different values. Understand that? So it was a very easy concept about instantaneous speed. Meanwhile, if I ask to you that tell me instant time. So now,
It's
what will you say?
323.
Good,
It's basically 323.
good. Here is uniform and variable speed.
Uniform and variable speed. If an object covers equal distance in equal intervals of time, we say that the object is moving with uniform speed. In uniform speed, object does not get slower or faster
And maintains the
and
same
maintains
speed.
the same speed.
Meanwhile, a thing which have happening in a uniform type. Meanwhile, not a thing in a very slow movement, and not a thing in a very fastly movement. It happens in a easy, in a variable, in a uniform speed. That is known as about a uniform. So next here is given, do you know, an example. I think so that will become so long for our today topic. What you say? If you wanna read more, you can tell me.
No,
Okay. So we have
it's
to
no.
add our to the diary till uniform and variable speed. Understand that? So very quickly,
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
just revise your today lecture in 5 to 6 minutes in your own words. Then we have to end our class. What we have learned in our today work.
In today's lecture, we learned about speed and velocity,
Good.
a very long definition on speed.
Okay.
We also learned about average speed, instantaneous speed,
ओके
variable speed.
ओके, आपने तो बिल्कुल ही उसको एक दो वर्ड्स में ही कर दिया। मैंने तो आपको चलो लाइंस में कहा था, आपने तो असलो ही।
Okay. Sorry. Anyway, we learned that speed and velocity. Speed is the measure of how fast an object is moving. Velocity describes the speed as well as the direction of the moving object. Speed, we learned again about the distance covered by delta second and time delta t. It's called speed denoted by v.
ओके
It shows us the rate at which the object is moving. A fast moving object covers large distance. A slow moving object covers short distance in a long
बट
amount of time. Example was given about a car at the Toronto interchange and Sawabi interchange at the highway between Peshawar and Islamabad. Then we learned about average speed. We also learned about an activity on how to measure bowling speed. We also learned about instantaneous speed. Sorry, average speed is the total distance covered in total time. Mathematically, V average equals to total distance divided by total time equals to S upon T. Instantaneous speed is the amount of speed we are having at that exact time, at that particular time, instantaneous
ओके
speed. And uniform and variable speed, uniform speed, an object does not get slower and maintain same speed. This
ओके
is all we learned. Yes, this is what we learned in today's lecture.
ओके